In this video, we will discuss models for the division of whole numbers. Our first model is called the set model or partition model. So we're going to separate or partition a set into a number of equal subsets. So you have 18 cookies, you're dividing it by 3 people. So you would separate it like you would when you're divvying out cards for a card game. Give one to Bob, one to Dean, one to Charlie, one to Bob, one to Dean, one to Charlie, until you run out of cookies. So each person gets 6 cookies. There's also the missing factor model. 3 times something equals 18, and you have to figure out what that something is. The repeated subtraction model is very good for students who understand subtraction but just haven't figured out division yet. So we're going to have 18 cookies. We want to package them 6 to a box, so we need to figure out how many boxes we need. You can also do this vertically. So we have 18, we're going to subtract 6 and get 12, subtract 6 again and get 6, and subtract 6 again until we have 0. Notice we have subtracted 3 times, so we have 3 boxes. So 18 divided by 6 would be 3. Now we've got Cadbury eggs, 12 of them, and we want to package them in a set of 3. So we do the same thing. We're going to subtract 3 until we have none left. And we've subtracted 3 4 times. So we have 4 packages of Cadbury eggs. I'd like you to do this problem for class. So let's talk about the division algorithm. First, what is an algorithm? It's just a step-by-step procedure for solving a problem or doing a calculation. So we're going to separate 32 into 6 equal parts. You can look down here at the picture and see we have 32 apples. We're going to separate it into 6 equal parts. Each part has 5 apples in it. So that is called the quotient. So how many are in each part? 5, the quotient. Then what is left over? We have 2 left over, so that is our remainder. And this is how you would work the problem without a picture. The division algorithm says that given any whole number, A and B, where B is not 0, because we're not going to divide by 0, there exists a unique whole number, Q, the quotient, and the remainder R, such that A equals B times Q plus R, where R is in between 0 and B. That can be confusing, but let's look back at our apples up there. We had 32 apples, so we can write that as 32 is 6 times 5, so that is our partition. There's our quotient, and there's our remainder. Something to remember is that it's division by 0. When you have 0 divided by 12, I want you to think of that as we have 0 pizzas and we have 12 people. Well, that just means we're going to be hungry, but we could eat tacos, so that's okay. But if you have 12 pizzas and no people, that should just be illegal. And that is called undefined. So here's an easy way to remember it. It is okay to have a 0 on top, but you cannot have a 0 on the bottom. So let's talk about how all of these operations that we have been discussing are related. Notice that the plus and minus, addition and subtraction, are inverses of each other. They undo each other. When you have repeated addition, you're going to have multiplication. When you have repeated subtraction, you will have division. And then the multiplication and division are inverses of each other. They undo each other. And finally, let's look at the order of operation. You may have heard this before. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is a great way to remember how the order that you are supposed to do your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. A lot of people use that to remember to do parentheses first, then exponents. Your multiplication and division are left to right. That's the way you read. And then addition and subtraction are also left to right. So let's work that middle problem. Notice you have parentheses, so we're going to do what's in parentheses first. That's where we got our 2. Next, we're going to do our multiplication, and then finally the addition. So I'd like for you to do the other 2 problems to turn into class.